It's road trip time once again. We're going to head down to Clayton-le-Dale. We're going to go down in a fully petrol car. Yeah, there's nothing astounding about that. But rather ironically, we're going down to pick up my e-bike. But what better car to go on the motorway, do some A roads, B roads, and well, have a bit of fun in the brand new FL5. Now before we head off on our adventure, let's take a close look at the motor. And I can actually say motor, because the thing about this is there's no hybridity, there's no EV styling, it's just pure petrol. So it's the 2-litre VTEC K20C1. Yeah, if you're a JDM Type R enthusiast, you'll probably recognise the name K20. Everything about this car is just absolutely amazing. It's really hard for me to find anything negative about this car. I think the only thing I can actually comment on is this bottom lip spoiler right below the bumper scrapes when pulling out the drive. But I found that a good thing, because it shows me that the car's low, and it means that it's going to give me an engaging experience, which it has. It pulls 0 to 60 in 5.4. In the dry, I reckon that's sub 5. And that's not an exaggeration. It can seriously put its power down. Now the lengths they've gone to is, quite frankly, ridiculous. They've honed the bearings in the steering system for longevity and to make them more rigid. They've reshaped the turbo blades. They've increased airflow across the board, including the wheel wells, which reduces pressure. They've increased negative downforce. They've increased efficiency, which is really weird considering it's the most powerful engine they've made, but it's more economical. And it's got more power at higher end. I could stand here literally for days and tell you what they've done to it. And that's not an exaggeration either. Aluminium bonnet, 43% lighter, resin boot, laser brazed roof, coupe-esque looks, which doesn't limit the space in the back either. It's got more room than previous gen, but when you go to the Type R level, then they've reduced clutter inside the cabin. They've literally targeted everything at driver focus. And anything in high gloss means it's a performance part, which means it either increases airflow, makes it faster, yada yada yada. And that includes the rear spoiler, which has also been redone. The wheels, they've even been modified. It's now got bespoke tyres too. The other thing, and this really appeals, the FK8 looked, I suppose in a word, demonic. This is subtler, it's far more understated, but no less aggressive. It's just done in a more minimalist way, which I never really saw with FK8 when we had it. It's only when you put it next to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't either, and I'd happily drive them from A to B. I mean, you'll probably remember that we actually went down to Goodwood in the FK8, and that ended up being like a 900-mile road trip, and it didn't skip a beat. The other thing about this is they've refined the comfort system. Also the R mode. It's got a re-engineered gearbox. It's got re-engineered steering. It's got a data log system, so you can see and share on the Type R log app your best times on a racetrack. And more than that, it's just reclaimed its title as fastest front-wheel drive car on the Nürburgring. Now to the price. Yeah, it's increased a fair bit. Is it worth the money? Of course it is. But it always will be. It's a Type R. VTEC. It's one of those things that you just, well, live and breathe. It's a touch under 50k. Yeah, it's a fair bit of money. Does it deserve that tag? Yes, it does. The other thing is, it's a far bit pricier than, say, the previous gen. But they've done a lot more to it. It's not going to suit everybody, but no car does. But it suits Annabelle and I down to the ground, and we will quite happily add one of these to the collection, especially if we find out this is going to be the last petrol. The driving modes are now tailorable, and that, it may still be the tri-exhaust, but it's got even more technology. I mean, just look at this car. This is going to be one fun road trip. Keyless entry. And you're met by Type R and a road. Fancy. Okay, let's fire her up. To start engine, clutch. Ah, yes, sensible. Time for some history. What a momentous day. Behind the wheel of the new Type R FL5 and on a bit of a road trip. We're heading down to Clayton-le-Dale. Now ironically, we're not driving an electric vehicle because normally that would be the case. The thing about the new Type R is it's completely petrol. So there's no hybrid systems, there's no electric motors, there's no batteries. It's good old VTEC. And it's fast.
Boy, is it fast.
I do love being behind the wheel of a Type R. Okay, turning circle's not the greatest, but I didn't expect it to be. Oh, it's such a joy. Now this is when most people would be saying a road trip in a Type R. Well, if you remember a few years ago, we went all the way to Goodwood in one. And it was the most memorable experience ever.
It really made it something. I mean, Goodwood's always great, isn't it? But it made it something special.
Well, when you turn up in a Type R, I mean, you're grinning from ear to ear. And then you've got cars to go and see. I can't think of anything better, to be honest. And that was the FK8, wasn't it?
It was.
So this is the brand new FL5. When we see a national speed limit sign, you'll see exactly what they've done to it. In a nutshell, I think they've tweaked every single aspect of the car. And that's not an exaggeration.
Well, it seems, as you said before when we were talking, it's almost like they've lovingly taken every single part of the car out, looked it over, tweaked it by hand.
Yeah.
Sprinkled it with fairy dust and put it back inside.
Sorry, I'm just in awe sitting behind the wheel. It's such an experience. No, you hit the nail on the head there. Also, they've been working with racing teams out of Sakura and all types of things, GT series, and it's the strongest Type R engine in 25 years. 0 to 60 in 5.4, but I reckon it's closer to 5. Engage R mode, shall we? So.
Sorry about that. I couldn't help that. It just came out.
Honestly, you just grin like a Cheshire Cat. Now, if you buy this, yeah, you're not going for economy. I'm currently getting 20 to the gallon. Did you hear that? Rev matching?
Yes. That's not what this car is about, is it?
Not at all. So there you go. We've had some hard acceleration. Now we'll just cruise all the way to Clayton-le-Dale. Apologies, Annabelle. Not really, but hey.
Sorry, not sorry, hashtag. Sorry, I apologise, I'll do that properly.
In the words of Buffyverse, my bad.
Yeah, definitely your bad.
Let's go into comfort mode. Wow, it's like travelling a Rolls Royce. Okay, it's not.
But it does make it a little bit more comfortable for Annabelle's poorly head. Annabelle has a migraine.
It's not that it's uncomfortable in our mode, it's just...
No, it's just raw.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can describe it.
They just feel so well balanced. So, wow!
How close was that bank?
Yeah, well, he was banking, wasn't he? 30 miles an hour. It is possible to do. And it's not chomping at the bit to get away either. The other interesting thing is they've made it more economical. It's got more power, it's faster, and it's got quicker acceleration, yet it's more economical.
Sorcery, I tell you.
Yeah, I know.
It's all to do with that fairy dust.
All to do with that 2-litre VTEC and a turbo and an intercooler. And the fact that they've thought, actually, we can make it even quicker. Why don't we just remove some fan blades and reshape them? All that on the turbo. It's also wider and lower than the previous gen, and it's considerably lower and wider than the standard Civic.
Oh yeah.
Which in my eyes was an excellent car. Even that CVT or eCVT. But this 6-speed manual, honestly, it's the best on the planet.
Without a doubt, one of our favourite cars in the world, isn't it?
It is.
In 1 mile.
He just pulls like a train. Yes, you've got tyre noise, but we're on 19s. And do I care? No, not at all. Third gear. Anyway, yeah, I kind of.
Even though he promised he wouldn't do, even though he promised he wouldn't do it again, he did.
it's
He did.
intoxicating, isn't it? I've just been reading through the press pack, and it's ridiculous. It's got to be 10 or 15 pages of just lots and lots of pertinent information. Everything from the levels of safety through to crash protection, which is substantially more than Civic eHev. And yes, you've got adaptive, you've got lane keep assist, lane departure warning, collision detection, AEB, you know, all the cool things you expect to get in a Honda car that's ridiculously safe. RCZ.
Nice colour as well.
Second gen back look. It's changed completely from the FK8 in the previous gen. I can't remember what the designation was for that. Let's call it FK8, because that was the Type R name. But it's more minimalist, isn't it? More modern.
Yeah.
Still got things like your rotary as well, and proper buttons. Like here. I'm just chomping at the bit to launch. I know I shouldn't be, but I am.
Nod there. Appreciation from the biker.
Did he nod as well?
He did.
Well, if you remember, last time we drove a Honda with like a decent engine.
Pretty much every single bike we came across showed their appreciation of such a beautiful car.
There seems to be an affinity with Honda, whether it's boats, bikes, cars.
Hot air balloons.
Yeah. It's like, this is my quest, and so on. But that's what that advert used to give me, that exhilaration. It gave me like, woo, wow, especially with the guy when he's redlining the Formula 1 car. Honda adverts are, well, they pique people's interest, don't they?
Well, they always do with us.
Clever. Yeah. Well, this is turning heads left, right and centre already. Now, the one thing I would like is an old school handbrake, but yeah, that's just not going to happen. But you get used to it, and it seems to be a pretty good system anyway. If you go into the settings, I mean, you've got your drive modes, comfort, sport and individual.
Right.
And it displays on the cluster and the screen.
Do you want to go through them? Burr of the Beast.
Oh, easy fit through there. No problem. Similar colour to this. In case you're wondering, this is Racing Blue Pearl R. That clutch control. Brembo brakes, uprated suspension, uprated chassis, more taut, wide tracked.
Hang on, more taut?
Yeah, the chassis. The frame and the chassis are more taut, whatever the word is. So it makes it, you know, more rigid.
Right, sorry, I just saw the cake, not the actual tautness in TAU. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, my head's not...
Engadine taut there for
yeah,
Betty's.
sorry, my head's just not right.
Savage. Like the garden.
This really is a wolf among sheep, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way to disguise the raw power that's in every line, every curve, every rev.
I think it's what, 330 brake horsepower. So you can drive it on like a normal drive as well. You know, you don't have to redline it everywhere.
No, because that's it. Because even in the last time we had one, when you would literally hoot it and I would just poodle.
Half a mile.
It was just a joy to drive and be behind the wheel.
Take the first exit.
Now, if you get a bad road, yes, road noise will increase. I think it says about 70 decibels, which sounds a lot, but it isn't. Yes, it does pump sound into the cabin depending on which mode you're in. Suspension, steering, acceleration, brakes, all top notch.
Let's move.
Once again, we hear the rev matching.
In half a mile, at the roundabout.
driver's
Take the
car.
third exit. Stay frosty.
And that's the material point, isn't it? Everything's
Oh, yeah.
been tuned, toned, crafted towards that end.
Yeah, well,
So it's
essentially
exceptional.
It's a racing car, isn't it?
It is. It's a road
Road
legal.
race car.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Wow.
Okay, so third gear, 30 miles an hour. Oh, sorry, 40 miles an hour. It's, well, I've not managed to unhinge it, and I have been trying. Okay, so we're doing 50 miles an hour at 3,000. Let's hit third.
Take the third exit.
And
Stay frosty.
turbo kicks, and we're at the limit.
You'd have missed that if you blinked. Oh my god, that was quick.
No, it's rapid. The thing is, it's manageable power. It's not squirming all over the shop either. Yeah, a little bit of torque steer, but I quite like that. But it's not unmanageable.
No.
I've driven RS Turbo Series 3s before, and they're like squirrely. This is nothing like that.
Take the third exit. Stay frosty.
Considering it's a front-wheel drive car, that says something. Well, joining motorways just isn't a problem. Pulling in fourth gear. Wow. When the turbo kicks.
That is so
That's it.
smooth, isn't it?
Yeah. It's quieting down as well, if you've noticed, the road noise.
It really has.
McLaren, lovely.
Oh.
It's not what you class as too loud, is it?
No, not at all. It's very refined in here, actually.
Yeah, well, that's it. When I was doing 70, 80 miles an hour, let's say, when I was in my Mark II with the, not the Magnex, the Magnex is a refined exhaust, but say a Pico, then yeah, you wouldn't be able to talk to anyone, let alone listen to the radio. It's no wonder I had such loud sound systems, because you couldn't hear a damn thing. You say, wah, which, when you're 17 years old, is
That's what you want.
Let's try. Ah, oh, you feel it ready itself. Stiffer suspension, more responsive acceleration, tighter steering, the whole shebang. So, yeah, let's go back into comfort. I never thought I'd say that. The thing is, comfort is, well, perfect for 90% of your driving.
Yeah.
And it does quieten off, especially when you back off the accelerator. Travelling like this, you just think you're in a Civic E-Heavy. Looking around the interior, you can see lots of red. Well, for a start, we've got the lightweight sport seats, because in something like this, weight reduction, well, matters. It just means you get more power to weight ratio. And the Type R is arguably the best hot hatch in the UK. I know that's controversial, but it's definitely got the best manual box. They've even refined that. They've tightened it up.
Well, that's it. You didn't think they could actually improve on it, and yet they did it.
It wasn't bad to start with.
It was brilliant to
the
start
best
with.
they've ever used. Yeah.
And they've just taken that and made it just that little bit better.
Yeah. That's it. There's no notchiness. It feels so solid, and it shifts the steering. Fantastic. Great feedback. More direct than the previous one, dare I say. And I mean, just look at it. The other thing is its responsiveness. I could swerve at, say, 50, 60 miles an hour and it'll just bit of a... See? That's at 70 miles an hour.
So tightly controlled and just
ridiculously
stuck
good.
to the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the steering, because of the aerodynamics and the weight and the setup and the camber and all these other clever mechanic-y words, it's the perfect balance. Yes, it is really ramped up in the cabin now because we're on the worst bit of the M6. Just pulling out and doing things is just easy. See the blind spot detection then?
I did,
So
yes.
It's got longer range as well, so it tells me exactly what's going on. It's got mega overwatch. But more than that, it's got power that can get you out of trouble in the blink of an eye. I mean, the last one did, I think it was 0 to 100 in around 11.8 seconds. Also, there's a really cool thing in here called Race Log. Don't use it on roads. I know you're going to be compelled to, but it's actually for racetracks. And it'll give you a rating about how well you cornered and accelerated out of this, that, and the other. You've also got like your G-bars.
It's not for the road.
It's like a day at the fun fair.
Yes.
That's it. I'm in 6th gear now. This is 68 miles an hour. With the turbo kicks, that's 72.
It's just got oodles of power to
Well, it just
spare,
adds
isn't
back
it?
off,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Now obviously we can't tell you about the lights at the moment because it's bright daylight.
Of course not, no.
But rest assured, they are very good.
Look at it. It just feels like one of my old school lowered cars on the set of Cody's. But the thing is, that's completely standard. There's nothing better than the Type R. I've driven a lot of cars, and it just sits there in the top 5. It's arguably the best. And that's from Continentals, that's from McLarens, that's from Golfs, yes, dare I say it. They just get better and better, but each one of them provides such an experience. If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. Suspension. Well, depends on mode. I mean, it's relatively comfortable. Yes, like I said, it's not going to be Rolls Royce, but you don't expect that. You want something that feels the road. You want to feel exactly what your car's doing, and that's what this does. When you do put it in comfort, it does mitigate it quite a bit. It's quite comfortable for driver and passenger, isn't it?
It is. It's pleasantly surprising if you've never been in one before.
But in race mode, and no, definitely not. You hit a pothole and you think you've hit a crater on the moon.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I said it before. When it's raw, you feel everything. But that's what it's meant for. It's got to be that way.
It's a proper hot hatch, but with 330 brake and something like 400 newton meters. Are you surprised?
No, not.
Yeah, the acceleration is 6th gear. It's similar to, say, 3rd gear in a relatively powerful car.
Yeah.
They've even tweaked the rev matching. That's quite quiet actually, isn't it now?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Ooh, a bit close. Oh, beast.
Wow. It's only about 20 minutes away, and it's just flown by. It's just been lovely, isn't it?
It has. And we've gone from 20 miles per gallon up to 22.6.
Woohoo!
That's unheard of. They've made something that arguably you couldn't make better.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't think they'd better the FK8. I mean, you know in your heart that Honda likely would, but when driving that, it just felt perfection. And this just goes, you're on another level. Probably a Falcon.
Yeah.
An X3M competition. I can feel it being ever so slightly, and I mean fractionally buffeted right. But the wind today...
I was going to say, it's hellish windy though.
It's horrendous, yeah.
Yeah.
But as we know, the safety system on this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, ooh, Mulsanne. That's pretty old school, Annabelle.
Wow.
Everybody's going out in the classics.
Friday fun day, drive day.
Yeah.
No, for long journey or short, this is just a wonderful place to be, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And that's it. You've got all the mod cons you need. As I said, it's far more safe, which EHEV's pretty safe to start with. But you know, improved crash test type stuff. I mean, I live and breathe these, and there's stuff that's been changed that it's just it's flabbergasting.
Yeah, you just wouldn't believe.
The previous gen, well, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, was it? It looked a little too radical, whereas this, it's been pared down, but it's still got the aggression. It just looks, I don't know, almost more approachable. I'm sure there's some kind of political downfall there, but that's, in a word, what it is. Economy, Annabelle, 23.6.
It's going up and up. Okay, so it's 1 mile to the junction.
So we're getting up into Trout then, aren't we?
Yes, we are indeed.
Excellent. Right, are we going left?
We are
Towards
going
Glasgow,
left,
yeah?
yes.
As you've noticed, my gear lights here. 5th gear, steep hill? No, definitely fine. Right, okay. Samlesbury and Walton Dale. We're nearly at 24 miles per gallon now.
Well impressed with that, aren't we?
Yeah. It's got so much power that driving is just effortless. So in 5th gear at 40 miles an hour, you're at 2,000 revs. You know, you can just plod. Should probably actually be in 6th, yeah. Just about
That is
1,500.
smooth, yeah.
The thing is, the power's still there. It takes a while to, you know, spool, but it's still there and you can feel it, and you know damn well if you put your foot down, next thing you know you're at 170 miles an hour. Yeah. Well, 169. The other other thing I've noticed about this is you'd expect the seats to be like super snug, but I'm just under 18 stone. I'm comfortable. Yeah, they do hug you, but not to the point that
Well, it
it's
doesn't
anything
pinch,
more
does
than
it?
being held well.
Yeah.
Look at
I know, I've already got it in shots. BAE systems.
Yeah, do you know what those are?
Harrier jets?
No, that's a Lightning.
Oh.
I don't know what the one is behind it. There's not many cars out there now that actually have manual boxes. Hopefully, Civic Type Rs will maintain a petrol engine fully with turbochargers and intercoolers, and obviously a 6-speed manual, but it remains to be seen. 24.1 to the gallon. Look at those!
Mm-hmm.
Now that is a proper transit. MSRT, possibly. So we've arrived at our destination, Clayton Liddale. MTB Grr Monster.
Grr arg.
Exactly, Grr Arg. Clayton Liddale. Time to pick up my Trek rail. It's fantastic in every way. And yes, you can option up left, right and centre. So you can get like a carbon wing. You can get carbon centre console. And yes, this is a new 3 exhaust. Twin exhaust, triple exhaust. You can get a mountain bike in it and demonstrate it. New Trek rail. Yeah, I've taken the wheels off, but 29. Decent sized boot on the Civic. So look at Dojai.
Hello, Dojai Pie. Chilling.
Okay, let's launch onto this road. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, that's a safe
needed to be
pull out.
done. Yeah.
Yeah. The bikes.
Didn't even move.
I was going to say it's now in southern France. Should we try a 30 to 50 acceleration in second? So 30 to 50. Yeah. Oh my word! And we got the yellow shift light as well.
Sheer driving delight, I would say. Not angel delight, driving delight.
So you're a bit like me in that way. You're just like, wow, what's it going to do next?
Yeah. Well, even as a passenger, it's an experience. It just handles so well. All those years when I bought my own first car, after I had to give up the car that my dad left me, and there was a reason I chose a Honda Civic.
What, reliability?
All of it.
Cows.
Moo.
Horse.
You said cow, so I said moo.
Yeah, well.
You said horse, I'd say
It
nay.
was a piebald, not a Frisian.
Yeah.
Meat and potato piebald.
Oh. No BAE systems with your deplane.
Right, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. It's either going to floor it or not.
This is why I'm fine.
There won't be anything in between.
No, this is why I'm filming forward. He'll either put, well, he thinks he's over the line. I think it's going to be the other one. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that.
This could give a Tesla a run for its money.
Yeah, well, they say 5.4, but no.
It's quicker than that.
It's way quicker on a dry day. It really is. And the interesting thing is, that was comfort.
Thank you for keeping it in comfort, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I've got to. Well,
I think you're
well-being.
thinking. It's not just that. I think you're thinking more of the fact that there's a bike in the back.
No, I completely forgot.
Oh, well, thank you.
M6 North. The smoothness of that box.
Take the second exit.
Well, joining motorways. Look at this. It's not really a problem, is it?
Not at all.
Yes, the M6 is rammed. So that didn't make it particularly easy to get onto then. Let's have a look at our economy. 24.1. Even with launches against Teslas and joining the M6, it's still not wavering, to be honest. It's pretty good. Should we reconnect near, towards Carnforth and do some A roads?
Yep.
Just have a nice, pleasant cruise back on the motorway. Oh, feel the lane keep assist there. Excellent. Good system on this.
Wow.
Have you seen? It's got WO, as in W duo Bentley.
Yeah.
That's what our Continental had, wasn't it? Oh, that's a Brooklands, I think. Because look,
Oh, yeah.
two-door designation. That is absolutely beautiful.
We always see something interesting on the M6, don't we?
We do. Oh, Taycan, so fully electric. Sounds like a spaceship too.
Taycan!
Taycan fighter. Wouldn't be a road trip without the mushroom, would it? Place your bets, Annabelle. Series
Oh.
1, 2, 2A or 3. Ooh, could be a 1
One.
with that number plate. You noticed how cute the horn is?
He went busy. Ah,
It's
so
not
cute.
very Type R.
His little squeaky beep.
It's more squeaky than ours. Gotta love racing pedals, and you've got decent footrest too. Everything in here is what you expect for a Civic, isn't it? And there's, to be honest, not that much different from the EHEV to the Type R, is there? I mean, you'll see, well, I suppose there's one big one, and that's that. It's well constructed, decent materials. This is soft, this is padded. I'm not what you call objective in it, because I'm too busy just
Enjoying
grinning.
yourself, yeah.
Exactly, enjoying
That's
the
it. But
experience.
the second you're anywhere near it, just puts a big grin on your face.
You will see, I think it was the shortest slip road ever, and that's what you used to have to get on to get onto the M6. But when they added this new bridge and the Bay Gateway, well, they made it 10 times easier. One of your favourites, Annabelle, the 508 SW?
Oh, indeed.
If I go into comfort, it does this, and it just, you know, it's a leisurely experience. However, if I press R here, then the cluster changes, goes bright red, and yeah, you get that kind of layout. And there we go, we've got a bit of a pop and a weasel bang there, and this Fiesta has no clue what it's doing by the looks of it. Take the first one. I just heard that the Jaguar is behind, but it's not really a problem overtaking in this, is it?
Not at all.
Listen to that. Okay, let's put it back in comfort for now. Oh, that was a pleasant experience, wasn't it?
Every bit of it.
Economy update. What do you reckon now?
24.
25.5.
Wow!
Just turned now. 120 miles of range left. Oh dear, look at the road now. I do hate that sound. It's very tastefully done. You've got your wireless charger, digital readouts here. Lovely feeling switchgear. Everything's nice and straightforward. Responsive infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, settings, DAB, so I can listen to history. Yeah, this car's got everything I need. I love it.